Imagine a storm unlike any America has ever seen, not a storm of wind or rain, but a storm of lawsuits, subpoenas, and courtroom battles. A storm that doesn't just test the strength of one man, but the very foundations of American democracy itself. This is Donald Trump's legal storm, the courts that could end his political career. From the moment Trump declared his candidacy in 2015, legal scrutiny has shadowed him. But after leaving office, the intensity skyrocketed. Civil fraud cases, election interference investigations, criminal charges over classified documents, and the fallout from January 6th have turned the former president's life into a constant court spectacle. Each case, each motion, each ruling carries weighty consequences not only for Trump personally, but for the political landscape of the United States. In New York, Attorney General Letitia James accused Trump of manipulating financial statements to secure loans and insurance benefits he might not have otherwise qualified for. Detailed court filings revealed lavish properties, inflated valuations, and years of alleged misrepresentation. In 2024, a judge found Trump liable for fraud, ordering a penalty of $355 million. This ruling sent shockwaves across Wall Street and political circles alike. Appeals have complicated the matter, but the cloud of legal jeopardy hangs heavy, threatening both his personal fortune and political influence. Georgia became another battlefield. Prosecutors investigated Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. Phone calls, letters, and pressure on state officials became evidence in a case that struck at the heart of American democracy. Witnesses, including former allies, testified to conversations and strategies designed to challenge the legitimate outcome of a presidential election. Every detail down to phone logs and emails painted a picture of a former president willing to use every tool at his disposal to maintain power. The January 6th investigation adds yet another layer. Federal prosecutors examined Trump's role in the Capitol insurrection, focusing on both the rhetoric of his speeches and behind-the-scenes communications. The question isn't just what he said, but what he intended, and whether those intentions crossed the line into criminal conduct. Witnesses ranging from aides to security officials provide testimony that shapes a narrative of accountability or defiance depending on one's perspective. Then there's the issue of classified documents. After leaving office, Trump allegedly mishandled sensitive government records. Federal agents executed raids, collected documents, and scrutinized evidence for signs of national security violations. Each legal step raises questions about presidential privilege, the boundaries of authority, and how accountability works when the individual involved is the most powerful person in the country. Trump's legal team is massive, filing motions, contesting procedures, and arguing technicalities at every step. Lawyers dissect evidence, challenge jurisdiction, and appeal rulings in an effort to delay or overturn unfavorable judgments. Yet, public opinion remains sharply divided. His supporters decry the cases as politically motivated attacks, framing them as a continuation of the war against Trump by the so-called deep state. Critics argue that no one, not even a former president, should be above the law. Media coverage amplifies every development. Headlines dominate screens. Trump indicted. Courtroom showdown. Legal storm intensifies. Social media explodes with debate. Experts dissect rulings, predict verdicts, and analyze political ramifications. Each segment of coverage shapes public perception, influencing both national and international opinions. The complexity of the cases cannot be overstated. Civil fraud, criminal election interference, obstruction of justice, and mishandling of classified information are all legal battles with overlapping consequences. Each case alone would dominate headlines. Together, they create a legal storm unprecedented in U.S. history. Even allies of Trump struggle with the weight of these proceedings. Some testify under immunity deals, others under subpoena, creating a network of narratives that simultaneously support and undermine Trump's position. Every courtroom appearance becomes a media spectacle, a performance of power and vulnerability. The human dimension of these cases is often overlooked. Courtroom battles ripple out, affecting staff, family members, and even political associates. Witnesses recount personal fears, ethical dilemmas, and loyalty conflicts. Attorneys work under intense pressure, aware that every word could shift public opinion or alter the outcome of a trial. International observers watch closely. The eyes of allies and adversaries alike focus on the United States, curious and concerned about the stability of its democracy. The Trump legal storm demonstrates that the actions of a single powerful individual can reverberate far beyond borders, affecting global perceptions of American governance. As each case unfolds, the nation is gripped by suspense. Rulings are delayed, appeals are filed, and legal interpretations evolve. Citizens debate the fairness and integrity of the system. Questions arise. Can the courts maintain impartiality under such political pressure? Will the legal outcomes influence upcoming elections? How will these trials affect the Republican Party's strategy and the country's political polarization? Trump himself continues to navigate this storm with calculated media appearances, social media posts, and public rallies. Each statement reinforces his narrative of victimhood or vindication, energizing his base while provoking critics. The interplay of law and public opinion creates a feedback loop, in which the courtroom drama fuels political spectacle and vice versa. The stakes are unprecedented. Convictions could bar Trump from future office, financial penalties could diminish his economic power, and even procedural losses shape the broader narrative of accountability in American democracy. Every motion, every ruling, every witness testimony becomes a piece of a larger story, one that will define the relationship between power, legality, and morality in the United States for years to come. Legal scholars point out that this is a defining moment in U.S. history. The former president's cases test constitutional boundaries, explore the limits of executive privilege, and challenge assumptions about presidential immunity. They force a national conversation about what it means to be accountable, even for those at the pinnacle of power. Every day, the legal storm intensifies. New filings appear, evidence is reviewed, and judges issue rulings that send ripples through both the political and financial sectors. Lobbyists, campaign strategists, and political commentators watch closely, knowing that the outcomes could redefine the balance of power in Washington and beyond. As the drama continues, ordinary Americans remain keenly aware that these trials are not abstract, they impact laws, policies, and democratic norms. Citizens debate, protest, and campaign, understanding that the precedents set here could shape the nation's future. The narrative is layered. Fraud cases, obstruction charges, and election interference investigations are intertwined, creating a tapestry of legal and political tension. Every courtroom moment, every argument, and every ruling adds suspense and complexity to a story that is still unfolding. The Trump legal storm is more than a series of cases. It is a test of American institutions, a challenge to the rule of law, and a lesson in the limits of political power. It highlights how legal accountability, media influence, and public perception intersect in a country where the most powerful figure can also be the most scrutinized. As the courts deliberate, the nation waits. Will justice prevail? Will political strategy override legal scrutiny? Can a former president be held accountable without destabilizing the system? These questions remain unanswered, keeping the nation in suspense and making every development a matter of public fascination. This is the legal storm surrounding Donald Trump, a series of unprecedented challenges that could reshape American politics, redefine presidential accountability, and alter the course of history itself. Every filing, every subpoena, every ruling is a chapter in a story that will determine not just one man's fate, but the resilience of American democracy itself. And as the storm rages on, one question looms over the country: can the legal system withstand the weight of power, or will the courts themselves become another battleground in the fight for America's soul? The answer is still unfolding, and the world watches, holding its breath, as Donald Trump faces the courts that could end his political career. What's your opinion? Share your feedback in the comment below. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.